I'm going to show you 3 sweaters and I want you to guess what they're made of. Here's the first, and the second, and finally the third. Other than small differences in the knit pattern, they all pretty much just look the same, right? Now, when you start to examine them a bit more closely, they couldn't be more different. This one is made of plastic, this one is made of plant fiber, and finally this one is made of animal fiber. So if all 3 of these sweaters pretty much look the same, well then what's the difference? It all comes down to how these different materials interact with water. Plastic doesn't absorb any moisture, it traps sweat against your skin. Ever wear a polyester shirt on a hot summer day? Once you start to get sweaty, it doesn't feel very comfortable. On the other hand, cotton absorbs everything, which is great until you're soaked. Get that cotton tee drenched with sweat when you're on a hike, you're going to be freezing the minute you stop moving. But wool? Well, through millions of years of evolution, created a fiber that regulates temperature, wicks moisture, and naturally fights odor. But wool is itchy, right? It's not very comfortable to wear. Well, that doesn't have to be the case. You see, regular wool fibers are very thick, significantly thicker than cotton, but there's this really special type of wool out there called merino wool. Merino wool fibers are 4 times thinner than a human hair, almost as fine as cotton. That's why it feels incredibly soft. When we were designing our fisherman's sweater, wool was the obvious choice. We wanted to honor the legacy of seafarers who made this style iconic. Using cotton, a material that could give a sailor hypothermia when wet, just didn't seem right. But most people wearing this sweater aren't out there battling North Atlantic storms, so it needs to be soft, comfortable for everyday wear. That's why we went with merino wool, so we get the performance of traditional wool with the softness for everyday comfort. So let's go back to the original 3 sweaters we started with. Now, I'm not saying that cotton is bad or that you wouldn't look great in polyester, but I do want to encourage you to take a closer look at fiber contents next time you're out shopping and pay attention to what you're putting on your body. Because whether you're in the middle of the Atlantic hoisting that mainsail, or if you're just at home working on that Excel spreadsheet, you should wear clothing that you can rely on.